ahead and try and get a hold of Irad. There's Irad. Let me see if we can figure this out. I wonder if... Is Irad streaming right now? Irad, are you streaming right now? No. No, okay. Okay. Alright. I'm like waking you up. Hey, I need your help! Wake up! Alright. Alright, should I call you? Should I call Irad? Okay. I'll just get everything ready. I was camping with the kids last night, boys. Camping with the kids. Out in the yard. It was fun. Alright, we're gonna grab Render Doc to figure out what the hell's going on here. He's dying. Calvin's dying. Source. Shit, do I have to build? Are they gonna make me build this? Ah, builds page. All right. render docs installed. Oh my god, Cal. Oh my god, Cal. Okay. So we're gonna run the game. Christ, Calvin. Might have to do build. Let's do an export. And we will put this on, I guess, the desktop? I don't know. Save. And then we're gonna browse to it. Okay. Go to the desktop. And I'm not actually on the fucking desktop. I'm on Windows pretend desktop thing. God damn it. Why do you still have a folder called desktop if the thing you're going to show me isn't that folder? Dude. God, what a piece of shit. Alright. Open. Okay. Why was it wanting to access networks? I don't have anything else. Okay. And we're going to do this. Frame rate. We'll do some matches here. And, okay. Alright, can I pause the capture? Ah, we're not capturing. Son of a bitch. Launch. Okay. Alright, where do I see the... Here we go. Oh my god. Dude. Okay. Let's look at the whole thing. Our biggest... Look at this. Oh my god. I mean, I'm not insane, right? This can be a batch, right? Not sure what this is doing. You'd be fucking kidding me. Am I on a timeline here? Reads, read and write. Those are writes. Oh, I guess I had to go all the way back. Depth. That's for the lighting. Cal, buddy, it's okay. Oh, I'm a tile. I'm sorry I didn't see your chats. Sorry about that. Give me a second here. I don't have my chatty opened. They did not come in. Hey, just don't open the 3.2 terabyte homework folder. Exactly. He's scratching his ear. He only does that stuff when I'm like streaming. He gets like real compulsive. All right. All right. Calvin. Dude, Calvin, you gotta stop, buddy. It's a hot spot because you're scratching it. Don't make you wear the cone. All right, I'm gonna call Irad. Irad's gonna be a guest on the stream. Here we go. Color, you're on the air. Hello.
It's fun. I mean.
Oh no.
Doing cricket. I do.
I'm doing good. Do I sound like I'm on the right microphone?
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine. So.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Not sure same microphone, but it's.
Oh, okay.
Nice
give me just like a split second. I can make it so much better for you. So much better, I promise. All right. Okay. Voice and video. Yes. Okay. And then where are we? Line. Here we go. Testing.
Hey, Jacob.
All right. Is that better?
Yeah. This is the okay. Now this is the same.
Yeah. You like that? You like that?
Yeah.
Silky
absolutely.
smooth stylings of cricket.
When are you gonna start your ASMR channel?
I know. I did yesterday on accident. I ate a pizza very loudly and for everyone. It was a pita pizza, but it was delicious and very crunchy though. So it definitely. I didn't realize it was picking up on the mic, and I felt awful because I was just eating for everyone. I'm gonna put in at Irad Dev on the stream title here. I'm farming you for views. That's what I'm doing right now. So let me explain what's going on. I had messaged you this morning. I was like, hey, do you have any experience with this thing that I'm experiencing? Which is that as my game is going, even though I'm not adding anything new to the scene, I'm seeing this weird increase in the primitive number going up. And I don't know that there's a ceiling for it to stop, but it doesn't seem to me to make sense that would be Calvin, buddy, you gotta stop. It doesn't seem to make sense to me that this is happening because of my understanding what a primitive is. So I can show you here. Let me get this going here. So to be clear, my game uses a pool of hexagons. It never creates any new ones, okay? Okay. So when they clear from the board, it just grabs back from that same pool and puts it with a new color on the board. So here we go. So primitives start out at around 2,000 something for all the hexagons, okay? So it's number of hexagons times the hexagon is made up of what is it? 4 triangles, I think. There's no, anyways. So it's when I'm doing the rotation, specifically when I do a match, and we do animate them, and then we change their colors. Okay, so if I can find a match. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. This is my game, and I can't find it. Okay, calm down. Okay, so then we just start to see it grow. Now, one thing that I've noticed, this is really weird, is if I rotate and there's no match, the primitive count will decrease. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I've confirmed I only have, I'm not instancing new pieces. Like, there's no new pieces happening here. But you see, it's just kind of going up. And like, if I rotate on without a match, oh my god, now I can't stop winning because I'm so amazing. Give me a second here. We're gonna kind of clear that, get us to a point. Oh, are you watching the stream? Should I put this on the? Hang on, let me put this on for you. In the.
I'm watching the stream.
Okay, let me put it on.
And this keeps going. How many objects are you pulling?
I think it's a near 100. I could count again. The math is basically keep building a hexagon outside of a hexagon of hexagons. I don't remember the total number. So if I go in the scene tree here, and I go, here's the thing that's a little weird. This the hexagons themselves are inside a viewport that's being rendered on top of the background, so that I can have separate lighting from the background and everything like that. Okay. So that's something that's a little different, but the hexagons are here. Hang on, let me get this so it's real time for you. Give me just a second. I'll set up I'll have it be a webcam. Okay, and then let me go back over to turn on camera. And yeah, so now you should have the stream just without a delay in the fuck is it called?
Okay.
Yeah,
Discord.
Discord, that's the word for it. So yeah, so the node count here isn't changing, right? These are the hexagons. Okay? So they are made up of, they've got a mesh, and then I do have a collision shape on them. I do turn off the collision shapes detection. I turn the monitoring on and off because I'm using it for mouse over the area collision. I turn that on and off when I animate them flying towards the screen so that you don't accidentally click on them as they're like doing their cool little animation thing. But yeah, so the number goes up, and then if I was messing with it the other day, and I was, yeah, see how it's going down when I rotate? If I rotate without matches, it starts to deplete. And look at that. See that?
It's weird.
Look at that. What the fuck is going on here? Now, I ran it through without playing the game at all, so I'm not seeing the increase in the primitives, but I ran it through render doc, okay? So here's something that I'm noticing that's a little concerning, and maybe my understanding about how a frame is generated by a video game is not very good, because I admit I've never done any graphics rendering, right? But the depth pass, look at this. See how it's doing each, every single, it's building it's building the entire, like hexagon board one by one if I'm scrubbing through it. And
yeah.
So that could be batched. Am I insane? Right.
If you can use distancing and do one throw pass would be better. But,
right. And then look at this. So this is when and so I am doing a bit of lighting. So I could bypass this is a huge chunk of the frame. Right. It's actually it's over a third, it looks like. No, it's probably a third. Third's pretty close to accurate. And then when we're actually doing the color pass here, again, it's building every single hexagon individually. This is at the start of the game when I haven't done any rotations. So I could do a capture now and see what it looks like play the game a bit and see what it looks like. But I don't know where the primitives are coming from. Like, that's the part that I don't understand. What the fuck? Like, what is going on? Some other clues, unless you're like, oh, I totally know what it is, and you can just hop in. Some other clues here are, oh, okay, the game stopped. The board. I have a countdown timer. I should disable that for this purpose. But so go back to the debugger. Let me pin it, and then I'll play a little bit more, so we build up this weird problem.
It goes up.
Yeah, so it just goes up, which again just doesn't seem right. This is something. It's just something weird that's going on here. And if we start to do rotations without matches, we see it go down. So I thought what was happening is I was like, I wonder if this is like a culling issue. Like, is when I tween everything back to these positions, are they slightly overlapping in a different way, and that's creating some weird thing? But I don't, as I understand what a primitive is, it doesn't make sense to me that like what they're calling primitives goes up.
No, but okay. So the number of that depends when it goes up, because when the triangles get outside of the view, they get cut into smaller triangles.
Okay.
Because you cannot have chords or and chords basically. So whenever you have anything crossing the boundaries of the camera, basically, the rendering engine is gonna basically re-triangulate at every frame, every triangle. But then the number should go down because your pieces you're drawing are outside of the view, outside of the culling cone.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Where do they go, like in physics space, all the time when they fly away?
Well, I just I pick a point near the camera, so I do a like a ray cast, like, hey, at the outer edges of the camera, because people were freaking out when it was flying directly at the camera. So I pick a random point around the camera, I move it towards that point, and then all I do when I change the color of the piece. So what happens is, I on the data side, I go to the puzzle solving algorithm stuff, and I go, okay, is the game board at a fail state where you can't get any more matches? I run this quick little algorithm. The answer is no. All right, cool. What's the next random sets of pieces? Or actually, I get the random sets of pieces, and then I check if it would make a fail state for the board. But anyways, we get those pieces in, and then I change the materials. I moved. What caused this whole investigation is I moved everything over to what I'll call an Atlas texture. I'm not using Godot's Atlas textures. I'm just moving the UV around to change where I'm grabbing the texture from. So that code looks like this. Let me show it to you. So each piece, when we instantiate, and these are pooled, okay, I can show you the pooling code too. So when we instantiate the piece, I get the mesh, I get the material, I have an override material on it already. I duplicate the override material because I want them all to be unique. Now, it doesn't really matter right now, but this is how I need it in the future for the game for other things I'm going to do, okay?
Okay.
So it doesn't make sense now, and I get that. Everyone, like, I get reminded about some of this, or I was yesterday, and I was getting a little frustrated because I'm like, but it's gonna be. Anyways, so then I set the duplicated standard material as the new surface material, okay? And then whenever it flies towards the board and I grab a new piece from the data structure, I then do this set type, and I'm going to get rid of it as I don't like setters and getters when you're literally setting a value of something and then it calls like a secret function. I'm going to get rid of that. But anyways, sorry, my dog is, give me just a second. He's challenging me right now. Okay, so then we set the type, and all we're doing here is in the standard material, we just adjust the offset of the UV to pick up the textures that I want from the what we'll call a texture atlas. So okay, so that's all that's happening when we change the type, and then the pooling is just a dictionary of coordinate positions, vector 3 positions that point to the pieces right here. So this is the piece pool, okay? And let me zoom in on the code a little bit, and we'll make it the whole thing. Okay, and then when I create the pool, and we literally I never touch it again in terms of, so when here's where we create the pool. So we just instantiate a piece and we put it in the pool, and then we add it to the scene, and then we're done, right? That's it. Now we run this add piece code, and this does it grabs the piece from the pool. So we give it the coordinate, the data structure, the coordinate position in vector 3, and the type. We grab the piece from the pool, and then this turns on the monitoring code, and then we just give it a little bit of information about what it is for itself. And the type here, this is where it does the change to the material. The offset stuff, and somehow when we do a match, all we're doing is changing the type, and somehow during that process of like tweening the animation and all that stuff, we get this weird primitive thing that grows.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we're at.
So from my understanding, I mean, all these the things you're doing with shaders shouldn't affect anything.
Right.
Just duplicating material, that's not the problem.
Right.
You don't add new geometry to the thing, right? So
No.
when you do so, because the number of draw calls here, we literally talking triangles, rasterizing calls. Now, there is a way you can optimize this, which is going to change the way you're dealing with the pieces anyway. You can use the mesh instance
Right.
node.
Yes.
Where you can batch all the
Right.
draw calls into.
So I've read the Godot docs about that, and I did try that. I haven't tried it since I've done some adjustments to the way I'm doing textures and all that stuff. Now the change yesterday. So one of the reasons why I was doing, let me just preface one of the reasons why I was doing the Atlas thing is because I've seen huge gains on potato computers with using the equivalent of Atlases. Yeah. Now on my machine, it didn't really do much of anything. I thought it did because we saw this huge change in primitives, but we realized we're like, oh, the primitives shouldn't be changing at all. This is what started it all. And I realized that when I had done my sort of equivalent check before I had made the changes, I was playing the game a bunch, and so the primitives were way higher. But yeah, so for me, for the Atlas texture on like a decent computer really doesn't do anything because it's not, there's not enough going on that it matters. But on a really low end machine, I got about 100 frames doing that change from yesterday, which is like pretty significant. So the so let me get the Godot doc specifically mention that, but there is some language about how okay, I'm sorry, Calvin's can you give me just a moment? I got to deal with he's doing a thing. I'll be right back. Give me like 2 seconds. I'm sorry. All right, Calvin, I need you to go in your room. Come on. Okay.
Hey, Justin. Hey, Doodle. See you there.
All right. When you are pulling, do you change the material, anything as it gets recycled? Maybe accidentally causing a problem. Copy. So yeah, so that code that I was showing, Jacob, is where we're changing the color by shifting where the texture is on the piece. So we're taking the material that we've instanced for the hexagon, and we're just shifting it where it needs to be for that particular color, which eventually it'll just be different textures. It's not always going to be like these flat colors. Oh yeah, so what I was saying was, let me go to the Godot docs here. And so it was talking about using that for very large numbers of
I don't see an insane number of draw calls at the moment.
Right. Right.
5 it's not.
So the mystery is just the sort of growing. That's the part.
Yeah,
where
Yeah, that's the thing with the curling. Like, when does the Godot engine actually cuts out geometry
Right.
from
So
the
I
model?
thought what could remove it altogether is if it didn't have to cull. So, for instance, I was like, what if, because originally the pieces, what if this is because they're overlapping? So originally the pieces were recessed a bit. So I thought, oh, if I do that, this problem will stop because they're never overlapping or anything, or they're not off screen anyways, right? Like, so like,
No, but the call happens for every triangle. So even if they're overlapping a bit, both triangles will be called anyway. And then
okay,
the depth pass, discard the pixels. That
right.
not affect.
So like I thought, I'd change the scale down. Now we have the spacing, and it should, like, if that's part of the problem, it should reduce it. But this doesn't do anything to it either. The problem still sort of happens. But I thought.
Hey, sit down and have fun. Just sit down and have fun, damn it.
Okay, Patrick. Thanks for the follow.
Hey, Patrick.
So, okay. So let me ask you. So does this make sense that this is happening or not?
No, I wasn't expecting that. It looks like some, pieces of geometry still stay in the scene, and then you do something when you're rotating, and then Godot updates how many triangles it has to go, which is weird.
Right.
I mean, it's not weird. Maybe I thought I knew enough, but now I'm questioning it. Like.
So yeah, so the primitives will, like, if I change the lighting in the okay, give me a second. I gotta get him breakfast. That's what he's complaining about. Can you give me like 2 seconds?
Go.
Okay, give me like 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Talk to everybody. Tell everyone I said hi. All right, be back.
Ciao, Patrizio. Hi. I'm taking over a cricket stream now, but I don't know what to do. Patrick, you can't redeem anything weird here. Or maybe you can. Did you check the redeem? Talk to me.
What the dog doing?
Yeah, Patrick, thank you for the lure. See you. Bye. Son, you're having a hell of a time trying to get your game to be a browser game on each. You also have performance issues. Like that could be anything from, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what's your problem, son? Wukong. That's it. Oh, by the way, my redeem didn't even trigger, did it? Or maybe no, it did. I'm just not listening to the.
Okay, Cal. There's your breakfast. There's your breakfast. Sorry, buddy, I forgot. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm back.
It's Calvin fat.
No, he doesn't get fed enough, frankly. He's underfed, I feel like. But no, there's like the rib test where you take your fingers and rub it on the rib, and he's where he should be. So.
Okay.
But no, he's not a fatty. He's a little underweight, I think. Okay.
So I wouldn't know where to address this problem here, but you were right. Like on which software are you using to the draw passes?
I'm using RenderDoc.
Oh.
And I haven't done. Let's do that. What I haven't done with it is just run the game deeper, and then because we know that's when it's happening, and then seeing what a frame looks like. So let me do that.
I am curious because I don't know what's going on.
Let me just play for. Hey guys, what? This is just an all ploy to have people check the game out. It's like a long con. Here we go. Oops. Oh, that was pretty good. That was on accident. I wasn't even trying. And it's probably almost far enough along.
Yeah.
We'll do one more.
Something.
Okay, so let me go ahead and capture. All right, so here's a frame. Yeah, it's getting. See the. So you can tell just. It's like getting. It's like taking even longer on the. Let me go back to the other one really quick. That looks the same. Okay, let's go to the depth pass, texture viewer. It's all the same. Depth only pass. I don't see anything there. Okay. So the draw order has changed. Because I'm guessing, I don't know, something about animating them. So that's weird.
That's how the triangle are stored. Like imagine an array of triangles stored on the GPU.
Right, I gotcha. So that looks normal, but I don't know how to read the rest of this, right? Like these guys here, I don't know how to check this stuff out. And Vertex inputs, stuff like this, I don't know.
So,
like,
but yeah, the vertex input, which is showing literally the triangles being drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Are we seeing every single object be drawn? I don't think. I mean, the object is always the same. It's an hexagon, right?
Right.
Not having job.
No, yeah, there's nothing about that,
How did you draw the hexagon anyway? Is it Blender imported or?
Yeah, it's from Blender. I originally, yeah, it's from Blender. Here's the here it is. You turn on the wireframe here. So that's it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's flat. There's so we can try that. I can try that. I have done that. I didn't commit the code. I did it a while ago. I could try that and see if it does anything for that count.
I mean, with the mesh instancing, you're gonna get for sure like all the triangles being bundled together and being drawn once.
Okay, so that's not a bad thing to do. Because and the way that I move them.
This only matters if you really are concerned about the low end machines that can from.
Well, I am, because I'm trying to sell a puzzle game. And I figure people with low-end machines play puzzle games, So I'm like,
you still don't have crazy lighting. I mean, the number of lights, there are more expensive.
Right. Well, like for instance, I realize I can drop the depth passing for. There's a shadow. I'm using a shadow on a light source, right? Yeah. So I realize I could probably just make a texture that. Is slightly opaque that I put on.
If you have just one light parallel, it's not a big deal. It's just an graphic projection from the light to the scene, and that shouldn't give you too much.
Yeah. So I have options going forward to try it. It's just this weird, perplexing thing of this increasing.
Yeah, it is. I would be also concerned because, what if it doesn't stop and then at some point the game becomes sluggish?
Well, right. That's. And I guess what I should do is just play it for a long time and see if there's a ceiling. But the thing about it that's concerning to me is this is one of those things when you thought you knew something, and then you're seeing. Yeah, and it's like this is concerning to me because I clearly don't understand something. Like there's something. Yeah, and it's like now it's making me question certain things. I guess as an experiment, one thing I could do, and this would make me want to blow my brains out if it solves the quote unquote problem, is I could just instantiate a new piece and put it in there, right?
Without using the pooling and see if that
Right,
makes-
and that would make me just want to jump off a cliff, because that it doesn't make sense to me that would solve the problem, but it might.
The pooling really solves only the essentially creating new objects.
Right.
Which is, where Godot is really slow in general when it creates a new object, and that's the slow part.
Right.
In terms of geometry, it will be pretty much the same. So
Right.
it should be.
So
Unless you're using the consistency method, which is a different way of patching everything together.
right.
Which
So
you can, and I think I would go probably that way if you're concerned about performance on OM machines.
right.
But again, I don't see an insane amount of draw codes anyway. It's just 8,000.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't played it for an extended amount of time, so I could keep going. Yeah, it's just like a puzzling thing. Wonder if I should turn off sound.
You know what threw me off? The fact that at some point you were just turning, shapes,
Uh-huh.
and the number of draw codes was going down,
Right.
like nothing.
Right.
That was like, why? Why do I don't understand. What's Godot doing in the background?
Right.
And then
Yeah, no, it's certainly weird. I don't know if it's like caching something, like I don't know what is going on in the engine for how it does the rendering, or the passes or whatever. So could it be something like that? Like it's like trying to intelligently, but I mean it's saying drawn. So
no, I mean it's just a triangle being drawn. That's,
right, but so
really-
that implies that, like, if I put something on the screen, it's implying that it's something that we can see somewhere, or that it's like, I mean, if it's not cold, and even if it's off frame, it'll still draw it, right? So either something is
If you pop an extra hexagon over there, the number of draw codes should go up of a fixed amount, and if you remove it, it should go down to the fixed amount.
right. Yeah. So.
The last thing I wanted to ask you, your pooling is in the scene, so you have it in the tree, right? You don't have it just stored on the RAM. It's currently in the scene, because if it's unparented from the tree, for sure it's going to be called out. Like,
Yeah, it's in the scene tree. I mean, because the pieces exist, right? It's not like I'm caching. It's not like I'm caching extra pieces to then come in. Like, eventually I might, so that when I'm animating the replacement pieces coming in, the old ones could still be on the scene somewhere, like as they're flying off or doing something else as they're leaving. But for now, I just wait until that piece flies off, and then I just say, okay, now you're this, your texture's pointing here, and you're back at this position, right? So that's all
I
that.
don't know if it would make a difference. Like I was talking about unparenting the nodes, just having them stored in memory on the RAM, and then pulling them out and reparenting to the trim scene. To the scene tree.
Well, you mean like
So,
removing,
yeah, you should
removing
be
the
able to
child
put
and
them there. Yeah, just having them floating. Let's just store it in an array, and then you reparent to that node when you want to render them.
I'm not sure I follow. So I have them on the scene tree, so they draw it all.
You can have them, like, if you unparent one of these nodes, it's not going to be queued free, right? It's going to stay in memory somewhere if it's referenced by any variable. Like if you have it stored in an array, it's not going to be fed from memory. So
Right.
You're going to keep it on the RAM, but not inside the tree. And then when you're ready, you take one from the array and just parent it to this node, both 3D, and then it's going to be in the scene and it's going to be rendered. I don't know if I would run some experiment. I didn't do it myself, so I'm not totally sure that's going to work. But I have the feeling that if an object is not in the tree, in the scene tree, will definitely be cut out from the rendering part. So it's not going to be processed as a triangle for sure somewhere.
Right.
That could be because you're doing the pooling and you have everything already instantiated and parented to the tree, so you have it there in the scene, and then Godot does something and figure out if that piece needs to be rendered or not. If it's not, if it doesn't have any parent in the tree, it's an orphan node. Then to keep a reference to it, it's not going to be destroyed. But and then you can pull it out and just do reparent to this node. So I don't know if it's a big change in the code. Shouldn't be.
But I don't see why I would do that though, because I'm always have the exact same number of pieces on the board. Do you know what I mean? So like, why would I do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have extra, like many more extra.
Right. No, it's literally, that's what I'm saying is like as the piece goes towards the camera, the slot where the piece was is gone, and then I get the new value of what type it is, and we move the UV, and then we snap its position to that, back to that spot with the new texture on it, or not new texture, but
so you have pretty much an exact number of things that you're going to need to screen. So
right, and you'll see as we're playing the game. That's fucking weird. Number of objects.
You're also rendering text on the screen. You're also rendering. So I don't know about that part instead. I don't know if that's going to make a difference.
I mean, could that?
Because
would those show up as primitives though? On the rendering?
Should be. I mean, if that's, I think it should.
Okay, let me.
Just try to turn them on.
Yeah. Let me statistics, because maybe that's what it is. No. Where is the? Where's that? Oh my God, that's what it was. Son of a bitch, we found it.
So you were printing wait, but what are you using? You're using a rich text label. It's just one.
Right.
Oh, I never tested that, but that's an insane amount of draw code.
Holy
I know
shit.
that rich text label is expensive.
Wow. So because it's fancy text, it must be creating
a lot of I knew that rich text label is expensive in general.
Okay, hang on. So let's just let me restart. Did I do that locally? And let's go back over here and get rid of the event stream, the statistics, the game board stuff. We'll leave all this stuff on because I was just printing a log. Who knew that would be so problematic for Jesus Christ? That's what it was. Oh my God! See, I just needed another set of eyes. Now we're fine.
Okay.
Christ!
Yeah, because you were assuming it's just the 3D stuff.
Yeah, well, because change was happening.
working.
Change was happening, and then I'm printing that change in the log, and thus it increases.
I got so caught into the 3D part, and what was going, pooling and everything, that I didn't even pay attention to what was on screen.
Well,
and I was like, yo, wait a second, there is text. What's the? Oh, the text is growing. So like how much?
So it doesn't. What's crazy about that is it doesn't cull, because it's a scroll bar, right? So it's not culling anything out of that, despite it being far off the screen.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but so everything was. I couldn't see it grow on screen, but yeah, technically, the text is being rendered anyway, even if it's off screen.
Right. Oh my God.
So
okay.
now it's super stable, and so your pooling system is perfect.
Okay. God damn it. Fuck. Okay.
But
we figured.
Yeah,
it
you should
out.
have seen it not in the vertex bus. I mean, the.
Well, that's the weird part is when I was watching the frame, because then we would have seen it draw like as I'm scrubbing. So, what's funny is it must pool that. So it's not pulling the drawing of the of the
scene, actually.
of the
Yeah.
scene of the 3D scene, right? It's not pulling any elements in that, or it's not batching that in any way. It doesn't appear to be. So that's where you do the mesh instance stuff, to force the batching. That's really funny.
Yeah, so okay, yeah. So
Jesus Christ.
I didn't help with the 3D part. But,
Well, what a waste of time. I'm sorry for wasting your time, but I appreciate you going on
no,
this.
it's good for me as well, because now I see. I mean, I should remember that also rasterizing text is actually broken. So
Yeah, and it can get expensive.
yeah, you easily forget.
Right, yeah. Well, the other crazy thing is there's a known bug right now in Godot. If you have any shadows on your text, it literally halves your frame rate. So that's like a good thing to know. It's actually more performative right now to just double your, like if you have a label, double it and then make one black or whatever color you want for the shadow. But there's like you could literally just throw one in on the scene and you'll watch the frame rate half right now, because I forget the reason why, but it's something with the way that it's generating.
I mean, I also realized that text can be rendered via the sign distance function. I just figured it out yesterday, and I made it the default, so it's gonna be way more performant when it's a matter of zooming or on text, if you don't have it scaled 100%, because it's gonna take the vector of the text and it's gonna put it entirely on the GPU, and then
yeah, they had some notes about that in the docs as well, about how you need to do certain things with the text a certain way. Otherwise, yeah, there's a lot of little things about that. Jesus Christ, I was gonna go down this dark path of
I keep trying to improve the 3D.
No, yeah, I was gonna be doing like all kinds of shit where I'm like, all right, we'll go straight to the render server and I'll do it myself, and blah 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 blah, and here we are. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
all
then
right.
still, the drawback was still on the text.
Yeah.
But yeah, glad that it helped. I mean, it wasn't very technical. It's a switch off.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not crazy, because I thought I was losing it. I'm like, I don't understand anything anymore.
No, but me myself, when you started discussing the issue, I mean, I didn't pay attention to the rest that was on the screen.
Right. Well, because I framed it, right? This is the problem with the internet nowadays anyways. Somebody tells you what the video is and then shows you it, and you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, so I framed the problem for you when I should have maybe not have done that. I don't know.
No. I mean, that's what it makes sense.
Are you streaming right now?
I'm streaming that you're streaming.
Oh, okay. Are you going to today?
Yeah, later. That's soonish. I wanna do a little mini game for the chat. I'm just implementing the heat extension. But the point is not to make the mini game. It's because I'm getting confident a bit more with the Twitcher version 2 from Kani.
Okay.
And so I want to use it outside of my overlay, so I don't break everything and then everything is broken and then I spend weeks and weeks. And I just want to get used to it before I import it into my old and broken overlay.
Nice.
And so I'm making a mini game with a hit extension where you catch.
Yeah. Have you seen the state of mine and my little choosing people for the Friday when I play people's games? Let me do this really quick. Play my game. So I'll just do this real quick.
I've seen you modeling this.
Yeah. So it's just me, so I'm gonna win. But it's a work in progress. It's coming along. Got multiple ships land when people join, and then the laser beams are people's chat colors, and then the back of their helmets have their names. It's over really quick right now because there's not a lot of guys on the scene. But anyways, a big battle happens, blah blah blah, and then at the end there's a little celebration thing. So I need to work on scaling the timing of everything, because like the enemy speed was really high because I was testing it with like thousands of troops. And so yeah, I got to figure out how to kind of do some math on that so that it's like, oh, there's only 3 people.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a fun little way of doing a random. It's instead of like having marbles drop down a thing or just pushing a button on a calculator or something.
Yeah. I don't want to have words on stream, but I need to have something because I take too many breaks during streams, and then just
Yeah, I've seen people do that. That's yeah.
Because I'm a smoker, and that's I have an addiction, and then every other break I go for cigarette, which is too
Nice.
much.
Nice. Have they made nicotine illegal for vaping where you're at?
Yeah, no, everywhere. But no, I'm just it's the addiction is that you don't want to quit.
Right. It's the process, yeah. Because I know a guy when vaping just got started and they didn't start like regulating it, he was able to draw himself off of it by just doing nicotine and then slowly bringing it down. But I know that's all weird with that, like that stuff. So, well, I'm sorry.
I still need to process the idea that it's the nicotine telling me that I don't want to stop. So that's
well, yeah, and my vice is caffeine and mainly soda, and it's the same. Like you get that same. Like I get real angry if I don't have it, like. And then I feel better knowing that I'm going to, even if I'm not taking it, like I'm like, oh, I'm going to have my soda here in a second. And so the stress, my brain's like, oh, you're okay now. Yeah, it's definitely like an addictive signal going on there for sure. We all have our vices.
Yeah, well, we need to pick them carefully though.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah, just
I don't
change.
advise to not have any. Just have the better one.
Yeah.
Some of them are stupid.
All right. Well, have fun.
Thank you for having me on stream.
Yeah, dude. If I end my stream and you're streaming, we'll give you a raid. So much love. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it.
No need. Have fun. Have a nice rest of the stream.
All right. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. So that was IRAD. Very helpful. It always helps to have a second set of eyes. It's really, I think the thing about chat that gets a little bit frustrating for me is the, nope, hang on a second. I got to deal with the dog. He's being bad. Drop it. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Now, let's catch up on chat. What's up, Cracker? How's it going, Doddle, if you're still here? Son says I'm having a hell of a time trying to get my game to be a browser game on itch. Thanks for bye, have a great coding session. Thanks, Patrick. Vex, what's up? In Unity, you need to mark it as static. Does Godot have something similar? I think at least. Huh. It's another day to troll the unbelievers, says Olex. When you do the new color, is there a possible copy happening? So it looks like we figured it all out. Tapper's here. And Gamion, what's up? All right, so we'll get some music going here. We'll actually do some work now. Now that we know that we're not totally crazy, we definitely want to try to do the mesh instancing for the laptop performance. I mean, God knows what this is going to do for our performance. We can get rid of that damn log. I guess we could. So as far as the logging is concerned, I mean, in this, like, this makes me want to build my own scrolling log system because of how Godot is doing it. Now, we could change the type from a rich text to something not so rich, and see if that changes our outcomes here. So we're doing an event stream. So let's see what event stream is doing here in the code. So we're just appending text. That's why we were using rich text. So we could look at something else like a what's the other one called, guys? Well, we could just build it into the entire thing by doing just individual line elements somewhere and rebuilding something like can we do something with a label with multiple? Yeah, I mean, we can get a scroll going in a different way, but for now what we'll do is we're just going to hide the event stream and we'll hide the statistics, and that will on our primary stuff here, so long as we're not telling them to show up again. We're not. Okay. So here's the game, and if we just play it, we shouldn't see any increase in the primitives. It looks like we went up by 2 for some reason. Watch, now there's a small leak. Oh my god. Oh my god. 4. Why? So the rotation. That explains why the rotation was showing an increase too. Okay, so it's like, it's kind of changing a little bit. But we're still good. We're still good. So, yeah, so we're good. Yeah, it's kind of varying for some reason. I'm guessing, like he was saying, the number increases as it goes towards the camera. So, yeah, we're good. I do know how to program still. This is good news. So what is this doing for our footprints on memory and stuff, I wonder? Let's look at our previous... Now, I probably have to go outside with the dog and play some fetch, guys. Because he didn't get a lot of... The texture memory is definitely lower. We cut the texture memory in half. And the video memory's dropped as a result, too. Total draw calls. It's about the same. Primitives... So the primitive thing is fixed. Total objects drawn is flatlined. It wasn't doing that before. And the nodes were fine. Nodes are fewer. That makes sense because those scene elements aren't there. Resources, the same. Objects, about the same. Message buffer is smaller. It's cut in half. So it's 8 instead of 16. Static max is lower. Static is lower. And everything else, process step, is higher for some reason. Now it's not on screen, so is that going to affect? No, it's still the same. And then our FPS has increased. Now see, it's not an apples to apples comparison, but yeah, our FPS has increased as well. By 600 more frames. So mesh instancing should help as well. Yeah. Okay, back to making the game. Let's update the title. I'm going to go ahead and run an ad and stuff my face full of food, and we'll get started on today's actual work. All right, we're back. Sorry for the weird stream start today, guys. But we're learning some stuff and checking ourselves before we wreck ourselves. And the important thing was to identify. This is one reason why I stopped using C# in Godot, or at least why I'm not keen on going back to it, is because when you're talking to the Godot engine. Thank you, Irad. Thank you for your help again. Now, let me do a shout out. I don't know if I actually did a shout out to Irad. So when I was doing C# in Godot, whenever you access a resource, so resources in GD script are they are reference counted, and when you're done using them, they're gone, right? But in C#, it goes into its garbage collection. And so what happens is when you're making a game in C#, if you're doing a lot of things, what you're going to see in the debugger in monitors is an enormous object count, a ridiculous amount of objects. And it'll chainsaw because it's constantly going through garbage collection. So there's nothing you can do to maintain control of that and prevent GC from firing. So just using C# with Godot creates a bunch, like, because there's things you can do to, again, pooling and stuff like that. You can prevent the garbage collection. But you can't when you're using this engine and you're making API calls that access its resources, because then it goes into C#'s GC. And then you can't tell when you've got something that's out of control. So yeah, line go up, not good, as Justin's talking about. Let me close this out. That's the stream assist here. Here's our stuff. So now we feel better. Now we feel better. Okay. So yesterday I sort of blew up on chat, and I do have to apologize for that. I'm really sorry. I have to admit, one of the more frustrating things for me as a streamer is when I am attempting to do something and I have to constantly sort of reframe myself and explain myself again and again and again in chat. So I think what I need to do going forward is just lock in and not address those sorts of comments and stuff. And it's not that it's like getting to me, because I feel like I have to address what everyone's saying in chat, and I've got to realize that I don't necessarily need to do that, because it steals the time that I'm trying to use to do this other thing. And I also have to realize that sometimes people are just coming into the stream and they don't know the context of everything else that has happened. So I have to apologize. Specifically, I have to apologize to Sean, and I'm gonna DM him if Sean Dewhurst, if he's not in here right now. But and I gotta apologize because I feel like I went hard, and I feel bad. So back to the games, the game stuff, right? So now that we're past that, we do show the chain amount. So we did that yesterday, and then that's when we worked on getting the texture atlasing going. So we got that going as well. There. We have this idea of showing next pieces. And we also have this bug that we know about that we've just sort of been ignoring that we kind of need to deal with at some point. There's a bug with the rotation tweening. So there's a bug where we're not properly so we do this like little shrinking thing, right? And we're clipping. So we're not reducing our size enough to fit through there. proper. Part of this is... Yeah, we're not scaling it good enough. So anyways, well, wait a minute. Now I'm confused about... Because we were seeing the primitives, right, with the logging. So why was my rotation and not having matches causing that call to dip? That's weird, right? Or not the culling, but some sort of culling was occurring, is what I'm saying. The number was decreasing just because I was doing a rotation with no match, which is weird. So you see here how this yellow piece kind of does this thing. It doesn't happen. That's on the centerpiece there. So it looks like we're snapping. Again, so that looks like some sort of off by one issue. Look at that, we're not. I found another bug. We're finding bugs all over the place. Okay. Multiplier score product. Rotation inconsistent. Switching from tweening. Level up effect. Match hexagon effect. So we're not doing anything. Well, okay. So now that we have do you guys know, anybody out there know, presumably, if we're taking and we're doing a UV, we're shifting the UV coordinates. This is on for everything, right? So if I have like a metallic, it's going to do it on that as well. Let's try and do like an emission texture on our shapes, or yeah, let's make this fucking cool. Now see, so countdown running out effect. This is a good one. So right now it's not even noticeable, the combo countdown timer. But every time you make a match, a timer starts. and that's when your combo is going to run out. And if you do another match, your combo over there, that number goes up. So we could move the combo. We could just show the number here, and then when the timer runs out, that's when it slides away. And next to it, we could show the timer. So the other thing here about the game's design that we're not really fixed on, just to sort of is the shape of the board. Like the board shape has nothing, but we did it it was easy to do mathematically. But there's no real intent behind it, other than it was like, oh, it's hexagons, let's make it a hexagon shape, right? So the board could literally be shaped like a square. It could be more wide or more tall. For games like this, I feel like 16:9 ratio monitors are the devil, because you have all this space to fill, and we could also shift the puzzle. We read left to right, most of us, so we could shift the puzzle to one side or the other to make the stats, if we're showing like the matches, like we're not showing a number for the matches, I do think it's a good idea to have the pieces always feel cohesive, like they're a physical thing, like they're a physical thing, yeah. Where we have them do this cool flying thing, and it's pretty, but I feel like it's too much. I almost think, like, if they picked up like a deck of cards being shuffled together, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I do this match here and I rotate this one here so that it matches with these, they would all sort of like, where that match is happening, it would be this one would collect on this one, would collect on this one, would collect on this one, and then go on, so on. Something like that. We're gonna lose. What's up? We figured out our problem that we were having yesterday. Oh, we need to update the title. It kind of was, kind of wasn't. That was the problem. That was where everyone was going in chat, and myself, I was looking at it. It was the number of primitives that were being drawn on the screen. And it turned out it was just the log. I had a log that I was printing on the screen over here, and as I was adding more to it, that's what was doing it. It was nothing to do with the game board or anything. So now the primitives, if we go over to the debugger, the primitives are flat. Actually, just dropped there because I think the board just finished. Yeah. So our primitive draws are now flatlined. So our object pooling is working. No. But yeah, it had me questioning a bunch of things and thinking I was losing my mind. Almost like in the tactics game. Did I have a problem like that before in that and totally forgot about it? Because I could see that. But I think going forward, I'm just gonna create my own way of writing a log on the screen. Yep. Jeez. I'm so old I forgot. I guess when you're in the weeds, sometimes you're just so focused on one thing. Oh, that's right, yeah. Yeah. Kind of the same thing, yeah. That was a self-inflicted, yeah. Yeah, this was just a rich text label that I was just appending text to. And that was doing it. Let's look at fighting games for combos. Let's do some research on combos in fighting games. So, what's like a good modern fighting game? All right, we're okay. I never know what my combos. Street Fighter Alpha. Do they even show numbers in Mortal Kombat? That's a good point. I don't think they show numbers though, do they? Counter hit. Let's think about it. Let's make the board as big as we can. How about this one? Let me check it out. Oh my god, look at the pixel. Oh god. Sorry to be that guy, but look at that. Look at what's happening in those pixels there. I could just have the matches the pieces like have gravity and like land on the surface, like scatter on the surface. They could they could explode over the side of the board like it's a table. And then as they get to the sides, they just fall to the background instead of falling towards the camera. I could treat them like physics objects and do that. I like the way the numbers popping up. Are those just like a general point? Oh, those are hit points. I like Alpha's this little slide out thing. I mean, if we made it, if we made the board not... Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Here's what I got so far that I can think of. Let me go here and do a new drawing. Wonder why it's desaturated like that. Oh, whatever. That's weird, right? So we have our puzzle board. So we can show the number of combos here, keep them up on the screen, and then our stopwatch timer. The level up progress bar could look like this as it travels around the hexagon. Eduardo, what's up? Number of combos turning into falling sand. We could do a shader like that, yeah. You were saying you have an idea. Was it the one you showed We're Gonna Lose? How the hexagon lower's doing? We're doing all right. We figured out our draw issue from yesterday. So we're all set on that. We're talking about how we could have the pieces like slide off the board when a match happens. Like if they were paper, like you could blow wind on them and they would just sort of scoot off the board, like that the board has no there's no friction, just like they're in outer space, but there's still gravity. Number jump scare. Yeah, so the combo number we're talking about leaving on the screen. So let's get that going. Making it get a little bit bigger could work, like pulsating. Yeah, yeah. Every time it's happening. Calvin's crying. I might have to. Let me see if the neighbor's out. It looks like we're all clear. All right, guys. I'm gonna go play fetch for the dog, and then we'll be back at it. Ooh, you know what we could do is instead of showing the timer, the combo number could start to like look like it's gonna fall apart or break, like it starts shaking left and right after the specific number. Shaking, yeah, your shaking thing made me think of that. So like as the time is running out and there's less time to get the next combo number, it starts like shaking. back in from the tent. All right, I'm still going for this. I'll be ready to. I'm gonna try and play fetch with Galvin now. Sorry, I had to get the water going and everything for him. Is he broken? He's frozen. Is the stream broken? What happened? That's weird. Well, if it comes back, it comes back. Shoot. All right. right, guys, I'm sorry about all that. It is hot. Very hot where I'm at. Whenever Calvin gets 2 balls, fetch is over, because he will not return them. Self-sabotages like someone else I know. Who is that person that we know? Who is that person? All right. So we're back at it. So we're talking about... So we're just... I guess we're in general just kind of juicing things up. But what we're going to have is the combo notification is going to stay up on the screen as the combo changes. A little bit of like action, like shaking thing going on. I guess we could do a little bit of screen shake. Should we do that? I fucking hate screen shake. It's like the indie, like that's every indie YouTube video about juicing your game is to shake the screen. And then you end up playing these indie games. It's just like, and I'm like, I get it. I guess, can we not do so much of that all the time, please? So what would be significant screen shake for us? See, any kind of screen shake where we're moving what piece you're highlighting could potentially mess people up. Okay, so if we take the Y, okay, so between 0 and 1, and we can have some sort of scaling for intensity. So we'll go ahead and say okay, so we have a default position for our camera. So when we start up here, we say camera. So camera default position equals camera position. And then we take this default position. Eventually, we're going to return the tweening back to this. We'll create a tween. So we're going to say and I don't know how fast to do any of this. I'm not sure about any of that. I'm going to say it's fractions of a second, though. We do all this tweening, and then we tween back to the default position. Okay. So we come back to the default camera position. The other shakes. I mean, do we even tween the property or do we just snap it? Or do we, you know what? I don't think we should tween it. I think we should, camera position. So it is 4 times. That way we're not, it's not, I don't know. I feel like it should just snap to it. We shouldn't have any frames showing a movement necessarily. It's more like electricity. So we're gonna, so random range floats like this. Random. Same thing here. 0 for our center value. And we take, and this is, so we don't need to tween. Var. We do take the camera default position. So it's position equals all of this stuff plus the default position. And this comes out to less than half a second, which is probably too much. Shake. So then anytime there's a match, let's see what this does. It's too slow. About a quarter of a second. Quarter of a. Quarter of a tenth of a second. Does that make any sense? I think shaking the board in a puzzle game is a mistake. I could do work on this, but I'm gonna abandon this for now. Not doing this. I don't know. You know, the other game we could look at is the Pac-Man. What's the new Pac-Man? The crazy Pac-Man. We're gonna lose what's up. Got some reggae going on here. Pac-Man DX. Interesting. They're only shaking on one axis. They pick it randomly, but they're only shaking on one. All right, well, back to what I was working on. Getting really distracted today, guys. We camped out in the backyard, me and the kids, and so I did not get good sleep today. It's amazing that they've been able to win the Olympics several times, if I remember. That's interesting. It's almost like there's like the conventional way of doing something. And when somebody comes in and does it unconventionally, it's like unheard of. Like there is a guy. There's a guy famous. There's a famous video of a track and field guy, and I think he was from Idaho. And they'd always run the certain distance a certain way. There was like a break that they would take. And he just didn't do that. And he completely changed it. I forget. Let's see if I can find it. I'll ask Copilot. I'll have to track it down. Most of the time it's somebody that doesn't know that something's impossible. Oh, no problem. Oh, sorry, my wife texted me and I said no problem to you guys. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it works, right? I mean, you either... Nothing changes or somebody changes something. It sounds really stupid. But it's like, that's just how it works. Okay, so we have our combo animation. And here's what it looks like. Slides in like that, and then it goes away. So it's the go away part that we're just not going to do. We'll slide in here, stop, and then we just won't leave. And then we'll have a separate animation to leave. So animation, new, combo, over. Yeah, I feel like some of our worst impulses come from wanting things to stay the same. I get not wanting to have change for change's sake, right? I get that. Where it's like, look, we don't have to change this. It's fine. What's going on here? Why are we slowly going away? That's weird, right? I got Phantom. Oh yeah. I would say two things are dangerous, become really bad, is when people, paradoxical maybe, I don't know, but like things can never change. Like we will not allow it to change. I mean, that's what the protectionism is that a lot of politicians run on, despite they're pretending like they don't. Is like, oh, don't worry, things will never, like we're gonna keep things the same. And by doing that, the way to do that is to change a bunch of stuff, right? Or people run on change and then nothing changes. But the idea that you can control the complexities of human interactions in life with laws and somehow prevent certain things from happening is just silly. So even the modulate tends to want to fade away for some reason. I don't understand. And I guess there's no reason to really have the animation be that long. Get in right here. People who run on freedom don't like freedom. They don't like what it actually looks like. People who run on change don't actually bring change. People who run on having things stay the same change everything. Like a fucking... It's like whatever you want, just do the opposite. A lot of laws tend to be that way too. Laws are written in a way where it's like, oh, this will be the outcome of this thing. And then it's like, the way the law is written, the outcome actually is different because people are complex and you can't really control what they do. So the combo comes on, and then we're going to have a time running out kind of thing. Gimner, what's up? Smitty Werben German Jensen was number one. Huh? Let's see, I gotta find this damn video. Damn, dude, it's gonna drive me nuts not being able to find that video. Skimner, I gotcha.
Oh, I was just returning the cursed soda drink hat to its original owner, Smitty Werbin Jaegerman Jensen.
What?
Yeah.
There is no Smitty Werbin Jiggerman Jensen.
Sure there is. He's buried out in Floater Cemetery.
How did I just did it? I would. Give me that shovel.
It was his hat, Mr. Krabs. He was number 1.
OG SpongeBob was the best. Did the voice actor for SpongeBob die? I know there's some sort of tragedy around SpongeBob. And he was doing the Mickey Mouse reboot, right? Which I always thought was fucking hilarious. Let's see. My kids would watch SpongeBob in the morning. At work, we were making a SpongeBob game for the PSP, and then at night, my kids would continue to watch SpongeBob. You're just consumed by SpongeBob. Early SpongeBob is just so good. Dude, I loved Battle for Bikini Bottom. One of my favorite things in that game was there's a building in Bikini Bottom that you go to as SpongeBob, and I think it's the narrator's voice, but you go to open the door and it doesn't open, and the narrator goes, "This door is locked from the inside. Who would do such a thing?" Like, it's this most incredulous like thing ever, and it's like, yes, generally that's how doors work. But it's just like, and I know it's a hint to the player. There's another way to get into it, but it's just so funny because it's like this mundane fact about a door being locked. This door is locked from the inside. Yes. Yeah, it is. Door doesn't open from this side. Every FromSoft game. Yeah. Generally, that's how locked doors work. Yeah, it's this door is locked from the inside. SpongeBob Truth or Square. Was that on the PS1? Oh, it was the PSP. Okay. Was it like a let's look up some gameplay. I always wanted to work in the industry, but I feel like I might have dodged a bullet. 3D platformer with mini games. So you worked on the PSP version. It sounds so familiar. So were you guys pulling from like a general engine? Like a general SpongeBob platforming engine? Because a lot of this looks like incoming. It was a everyone's upscaled it. There's a double jump. Hexagons. Man, early camera stuff back then, huh? It was a grueling process. I can imagine. So you guys had to reduce like level of detail and stuff too, probably, right? Of like of the meshes and everything. So you guys were working backwards. Shit, that would suck if they were in the middle of so if they were God, what would suck about that is if they were in the middle of making the game and then they would change assets and be like, oh, this has changed, go ahead and just change it. Be like, oh, you motherfuckers. And that's exactly what was happening. Yeah. It sounds like it's weird. It sounds like the pipeline, it should just be like, look, we're just going to embed an artist with your team to just be a part of the process of at least, I don't know, just so that you could avoid the amount of man hours required to do it. They just shoot you guys a new stack of things to do. The PSP was a great console, though. Sony really botched the Vita. Like their weird insistence on their own memory formats is like, I'm glad they sort of given that up. Obviously, this is not even a required thing anymore, but although Minidisc was great. Minidisc is amazing. Dude, Minidisc, even for being a spinning media, I had a Minidisc player. It took one AA battery and it would last so long. And I could put so many, and it's just having that, being able to swap the media out. Such a cool format. That like mix of digital and analog is really cool. I really I like when those things kind of happen. Same with like mini DV. The mini DV format I thought was really cool because you were recording on tape, but it was like digital, you know, pixels. All right. Well, that's cool, man. Pac-Man. All right, so we're looking at Pac-Man. There's a small chance I still have the source for this game lingering on something. Crazy. The industry right now is in such a wacky phase. It feels like it's in this I don't know, the Nintendo, Bud was talking about this yesterday on his stream. I was kind of briefly contributing, but the Switch 2 launch is bizarre. Yeah, indie games, right? So that but it's this weird problem of like AAA has to keep raising the bar. But then the take home is like getting smaller, where there's bigger and bigger, like the winner takes a bigger chunk, but then there's that many more losers. It takes so much fidelity and everything to produce these games at that level that consumers are wanting. And, you know, they're having to push prices up because of inflation. So yeah, the indie market kind of gets to eat up real good, but in a weird way at the same time it's kind of hard to make a living doing it. I don't know, I can't speak for experience though. Obviously I haven't released anything, so I should shut up and just make a game, I guess. But yeah, it's devour engineering hours. Well, they devour player hours too. So the live service games that succeed end up chewing up all the eyeballs of potential players onto one screen, one game, and they don't consume anything else. It's almost like they're not actually gamers. Like if you're to quantify a player of a game versus somebody who plays video games, those are two different things. And the people who play video games seem to not be growing. They might actually be shrinking. It might really be that there are just like more and more people who just, this is the game that I play, but I don't play video games. Like I don't know how to phrase it right, but like the market is really weird right now. And then you have like, you know, you got people being raised on iPads and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's why you have a game like Fortnite that takes off, and Roblox as well, is because they're sort of iPadified play experiences. Mono gamers, yeah. And that could be it for them. They could never come back to gaming again. They could get a job, you know, leave high school, get a job or whatever, and never come back to gaming like that. Like they could even see it as like a children's thing. In a sense where it's like, oh, I played video games as a kid, I don't anymore, which is like I guess, you know, some people think that's a healthier lifestyle or whatever. My wife will tell you she doesn't play video games, but I bet she has 10,000 hours in 2048. Is that Anna? What's the deal with that game? I've never played it. I don't get what the deal is. Oh, is that Cyberpunk? Let me see. What is this game? Oh, is it a tile? Is it this tile game? To 2048? Is it 2048.org? Is that what it is? See, that's why I'm thinking puzzle games is like maybe a good vector to go into. Numbers keep getting higher. I see. Guys, I gotta go outside. Something happened. My God, did you guys hear that? That was Thor. It doesn't. The camera's not updated right now. Let's watch the camera update. Can I get it to force update? Use the force. Luke. There, look at that. Now it's all overcast. That was thunder. That was right overhead. Thunder! Move the whole board into one direction at a time. I see. There's no HOA here. It's pretty funny, isn't it? HOAs are a really funny thing. I always look at them an example as small government, even though they're not government. I know that. But my point is, it's a completely voluntary solution to a problem, and people can't fucking stand them. And the few people that get a little bit of power from them are awful. And so just kind of extrapolate that, right? Right. Yeah, exactly. So HOAs, the fact that they can do arbitration and stuff like that. Oh, damn, you guys hear that? Oh my God, it's Thor again. Thor's pissed. HOA is something that you, when you purchase a home, if there's an HOA, you're embedded into it. And they can do arbitration and they can levy fines and stuff like that based on their rules and stuff. Yeah, you just gotta, over time, HOAs can get worse and worse as older people get on the board. It's the old people who have nothing else to do in their day that can really fuck up an HOA. Kind of like something else. Yeah, I imagine that's probably true. I can say though that they can kind of definitely cross the line. If that's so, does the HOA mean that it grows like a cancer? They can be dissolved. It needs to be over 50% of the homeowners. The problem with any of that is that a lot of times the homeowners in an HOA tend to be people that rent out, and so they don't want the HOA to be dissolved because it's a party that's outside of their control that helps maintain the property, the state of the properties. It's like a free service for them in a way, buying a home inside of an HOA and then renting it. Yeah, I love HOAs that have put up rules like no mowing on the weekend and only from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on weekdays. Yeah. No, that's the ridiculousness of it. Read the rules carefully. Some are really lightweight and only meant to be shared resource like a well. Yeah. Yeah, ours was, we were paying 100 and... Was it like 120 by the time we left?
I thought it was
96?
Maybe did it?
I think they were getting ready to put it up.
Might have gone up to like just.
Yeah. So ours was 96 a month. So that's pretty crazy. It seems like it to me. That's the other thing is you're like paying for this thing, right? $96 a month. There was 270 houses on our property. So you do the math and that's a lot of money. And you start to look at it from now as a service and it's like, where the fuck is all that money going? Because 270 houses times $97 times 12, right? That is a lot of money. Oh yeah, this is an oldie. This is an oldie.
And then
I have friends that are paying 300. Yeah. No, they were cutting deals with some friends to pave our pavement that didn't need to be paved, right? That was absolutely happening with our HOA. The audit, there was an audit and I read the audit and they're like, hey, you know, everything's above board. Everything's like the prices are right and everything, but how much they're paying and who they're paying could be different and it could be less. Was like basically what the auditors were saying, which is like, hey, maybe they didn't shop around for what they were doing or whatever. Our HOA was just a fucking worthless thing. There were obvious things like getting streetlights that they wouldn't do. I mean, our neighborhood was pitch black. Never put in any streetlights, right? It's like, how much does a streetlight cost annually? I wonder. Auditors are like, I don't want to say the word embezzlement. So the cost goes in the letters that they exchange with the courts and whatever. Yeah, I had an HOA guy come up to our door and he was like, you know, you need to take care of your leaves. And it was literally the day after we had a big windy day. And so it was like, I just mowed my lawn. I just went off on him. I was like, I mowed my lawn yesterday and these leaves fell today. And here you are telling me I need to do something about it. I just like started laying into him. I'm like, we pay $97 a month. $97 a month. You guys should have a service that takes care of our fucking yards with that much money that I'm paying you. Like, I could easily afford one of these people to come and do something to my yard if I didn't have to pay you the $97 fucking dollars a month. I just like blew up on him. And then he was like, that's insane. My HOA is $300 a year. Yeah. And I was like, look, you know, and I just kept going and I was like, I could think of all the ways that this could be different with this much money. And I just started like naming it all off and I'm like, so you just leave me alone because it's fine. And then he was like, could you please run for the board? I was like, what? And he's like, can you get on the board? We need somebody like you. And I was like, I'm like, I don't want to tell other people what to do. This is the other thing that I was telling him. I was like, the problem with this is it draws comparisons. It turns neighbors against neighbors. Because if you're going to bitch about my yard, I can point to other people's yards with dead lawns, dead everything, covered with shit. And you guys are going to tell me I need to get rid of these leaves right now? Like, come on. And I'm not going to care about my neighbor's yard. It's none of my business. Like, I don't know what they're going through or why their yard is that way. They could have a bad back for all I know. Like I don't give a shit. Anyways, yeah, it was maddening. I remember I was working on dryscaping because we lived in California, and they were increasing our water rates X-fold every month, every quarter for 10 years. Our water rates were set to go up by some crazy amount continuously. And so I started dryscaping, and I got a pickaxe, and I was taking out the grass with the pickaxe, and I was going to get rid of all of it, put in mulch, put in all this nice green, like desert plant stuff that would look really pretty and everything. And then they freaked out and sent us a letter and told us we had to stop because they thought we were putting in a pavement, which is also well within our rights because a bunch of other people in the neighborhood had already done it. There's no parking. They were solving a problem that was a problem of living in this packed-in sardine housing place. And so people would take out their front yard and then pave it and then park there. And so they thought we were doing that, and they wanted to get us to stop. And then I had to write up a fucking design doc and like a proposal that they had to approve for what I was doing to the yard. And as I was doing it, the fucking HOA members, there was one in particular that would walk by and tell me everything I was doing was wrong and it wasn't going to last. And it's still there to this fucking day. And I can't show you because Street View doesn't go down that road anymore. But let me see if I can. Let me see. It's beautiful though. My friend took a picture of it. I was like, oh yeah, it looks great. No, there's good HOAs and there's bad ones for sure. But it's voluntary, and I'm all for that. It's voluntary. And that's the difference that I'll say, and that's the point that I try to make sometimes is that it is a voluntary solution and people hate it. And it's like that's the difference between my kind of the way I see things and would like them to be versus, you know, other stuff. Oh, it's the social contract. Oh, okay. Violence is the social contract. Gotcha. All right. All right. Maps, Google. Let's see. How to... We were also the first house in the neighborhood to get solar, and they wanted to fight us on that. And I gave them the laws that said that they couldn't tell us what to do with the solar on our house. That shut them up. Yeah, I can't do Street View there anymore. That's a bummer. Let's see if I can get satellite view. Layers, there we go. Satellite. Dude, Google's doing some weird stuff now to their images. They're doing some sort of AI and post-processing thing. This is weird. I'm still in that 3D mode, aren't I? This is like really old. That's weird. Sorry, I'm off screen looking at the old places I used to live. Oh my God, I'm so glad we got out of there. This apartment complex got put in right in our... Oh my God. I can't imagine. Oh my God. Oh, it looks fucking horrible. Here goes the view. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, you can kind of see it from here. So that, see all this lush green plantage and stuff? See those solar panels there? Look at this. Someone down the street now has solar panels. A bunch of the houses here now have solar panels. I wonder who started that. I wonder who started that in that neighborhood. What a nice guy. I wonder who that guy was. Yeah, the edging, everything that I put in there. I put in this trim and stuff. They were all like, that's not going to last. You can't do that. That's not going to last. Oh, really? It's still there. So fuck you. Look at this. I was like, this is one of the things I told him. I'm like, I know this sounds crazy, but just change the font to our entrance so it doesn't look like we're in a fucking, like, it's not like a gang tattoo. Like, Jesus Christ, what's with this, like, old English, like, fontage? It's not even straight. It's not even straight. Sorry. I'm having flashbacks. Thanks, guys. Ah! Let me see here. This is like a time machine. Go over here. It's different. Look at this awful road. Look at these roads. Jesus. Look at these roads. That's the California roads for you, man. Holy shit. It's gotten so bad. Oh my God. It looks like a fucking war zone. Sorry. I'll stop cussing. Anyways. And now these are all the new, it's lovely. We used to be able to see a mountain this way. And now it's like, congratulations. It's funny. Anyways. At least it's vertical development. That's good. Is Street View unavailable because somebody important lives there? I don't know. Was there one? Was there Street View? There used to be Street View. So we can't have like ranged random values in here, can we? I guess I need a tweener for that. Okay, so what we'll do then is we're removing this and we're going to say combo and then combo over. So we're going to rename this to combo start. And then combo current. So instead we say combo start. We set the value. And then we have combo over, and so then we say combo over. And it's literally that easy. Okay, so now the number should stay on the screen. It might not be a correct value initially though. Insert camera is null. That's weird. What happened? But yeah, I'm now we're all stretched weird. We're stretched weird. What's going on? Combo over must be not getting called correctly. Game signal. Who else is... God, it is hot as hell, guys. I'm confused. Why aren't we getting any search results? Am I crazy? What the hell's going on? All right, let's reload. There we go. That was weird. So we had a visualizer that was the background visualizer, as we called it. So we can get rid of that. And then default background. We're just going to get rid of these two things. We don't need them. We can always bring them back. But we're going in a different direction. Okay, so that's gone. So now we can get rid of that. And we'll search for this and make sure that it's only here. So get rid of that. By signals. Okay. You and he were buddies, weren't you? Man, that's a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah, they do have a timeline thing on Street View where you can kind of scrub back in time if they have the data. I'm sure that's useful, so they'll get rid of it, right? It doesn't make them any money. Bleh. Let's look at visualizer combo over. Let's just print it so we can keep going. And then combo start. Is it looping? Is the animation looping? Yep. Gotcha. That's a combo. Why are we not seeing a combo? Anybody know? The combo. That's a combo. That's a combo. Come on, what's going on? Bros. Talk to me. Talk to me, video game. Over. Combo start. Script. Combo start. Let's check the animation. Combo start. And let's look at what it looks like. Planes. Okay. Combo start. You know what it is? It's the reset. Okay, why isn't this playing? Okay, that's already better. But this, what it thinks the combo is starting is not true. Combo over. So combo start has already happened again. Combo over. So this is something to do with look at that. So we don't have a keyed start position. Ah, we found it. We found the problem. All right. Got it. Combo number position. No, I didn't say size. What position? Righty ho. Righty ho. What Of what position? Set position. So go over. All right. All right, that should fix it. Save. Boom. Holy shit, that was insane. Shit. Okay. The board reset. So the board clearing thing. All right, so we have the combo continues to stay on the screen. This shit took way too long. We don't have the combo running out effect, but we have what we need to be able to make it make sense now. I'm sorry, guys, today I gotta admit, I am just out of it. Staying with the kids all night, camping. And I was trying to pack in cleaning the yard a bunch, so I did a bunch of yard work. Tried to get all that kind of squared away. Oh, we need to get the dogs downstairs too. Yeah. It went good. It went good. Told scary stories at night. I might have gotten a little too scary. I had to adjust my story. We did a fire. Luckily, no cops drove by. We could do it in the backyard and we're safe. Nobody would see it, but it's not really the time of year to have a fire in your yard. No, we were just up so late. And then my son got freaked out by being in the dark outside. He doesn't like that. And he kept looking outside. I was like, you just need to close your eyes. Like, stop looking out at the dark if it scares you. Like, it's funny. He's a funny kid. So how do we animate something to shake that doesn't want to make us blow our brains out? Let's do a new scene here. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to write a test script with a la bleu. And we're just going to have a number on here. And we are going to change the font and size. Yeah, it's funny we're going to lose. You mentioned that because I was trying to do that and I'm just such an old man now. I couldn't think of anything at the time. I was like, okay, there's a movie. I could just say the plot of a movie And I was like, okay, but what's a scary movie that I know? And it's like stuck on, I don't know but they had fun anyways. I made up a story about us going down to the riverbed, or the river. There's a river in the canyon where we live, and kayaking, and there was a shark in the water even though it's freshwater. We were commenting how it didn't make any sense in the story. So if you have a discrepancy, you just have the characters acknowledge it and you're scot-free. And then we like it tried to attack us, and we like positioned our kayaks to try and circle it, and each of us was attacking it when it was attacking one of us, and all the boogers. The end. But my son had just gotten a new sleeping bag that was a shark, and so I tied that into the story. And then when we killed the shark, we kept it, and that's what became his sleeping bag. So maybe a little morbid. And of course, it ends in violence. We murdered the shark. Happy ending. This is going to be a tool, so it'll run in the scene. Okay. I think we'll just repeatedly shake. Intensity. Okay, so current shake time is going to be 0. So if current shake time is less than or equal to 0, just make it less than 0. It's fine. I wonder what this looks like. What does a comparison look like in assembly? I don't have any music going. No music. Put on that PS2 drum and bass. Right, guys? So we set current shake time to shake time if it's less than 0. And that also means that we are now going to set up our new shake position. So we'll say shake 2 position, which is going to be, might as well make it a vec 3. And the initial value is vec 3 0. Okay. And then if this is happening, we're going to say shake 2 position equals vector 3, and we're doing it on the 2D plane. It's actually just the 2D plane, isn't it? It should just be a vec 2. My bad. Okay. So vector 2 rand f range Can we lerp the vex? What the heck's is life all about? Do I have your permission to post the link? Sure. There's the share section in the Discord as well. Permission to post link, sir. Granted. Oh no, not Python. Oh, nice. Is this the... Oh, man. Do you want me to play this on Friday, son? Yeah, dude. I mean, I've got the system now for playing people's games, so I can put you in the queue. I mean, what I want to do is set it up so that if you want a chance to be selected, you get like an entry, even if you can't attend. But it's only one. It's like your soldier count doesn't grow, right? So it's like a remote entry, but that way the priority goes to the people who are actually watching, in case you're not able to watch. It's looking better. Speaking of Python, this is all in Python, right? But yeah, I'll play that on Friday. Just throw the link in the Discord. Using the Jacob trick here. JavaScript hacker man. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to take a break. I'm probably going to have to end it soon. Because we've got... Yeah, I'm going to have to end it in the next 7 minutes. Be right back. Oh, shit. It's raining. So why is it that repair guys always got to use your restroom? What's that about? Every time. Hey, could I take the stinkiest shit you've ever smelled real quick? Oh, sure. Let me go there. It's like, oh man, guy. Okay, so if our dream time, I have to for our if we want the warranty to be valid for the dishwasher, they gotta do it first. Right. Okay. So a whole number. We're lerping across the timeline. So this is, so if we were, yeah, okay, that's what it is. Okay. So it is our current shake. So it's where we want to do this in time. So shake time. So whatever our current shake time, which is actually, so we should make this a positive. And then this should be greater than or equal to. That way we don't have to do some subtraction. So then, so we avoid a little subtraction. And then we say our current time, the interpolation, which is the, so then we can say and current shake time, we actually reset. Do we actually need, I guess, okay, so we don't need, okay, so we can get rid of that. Times shake time. That's a better term for it. Okay. Oh, Codex, we solved the problem. The growing number of primitives. Turned out it was my print log that was on the left-hand side of the screen. It took a little bit too long to figure that out. So intensity. Here's what we'll do. We're gonna lose thanks. I feel like something's happening with chat where, like, we're kind of, I don't know. It's like the relationship's getting a little bit more like IRL friend territory-ish things where it's like, yeah, it's, I don't know how to describe it. Something's changing though. I appreciate it. Of course, that's probably why I'm going like, ah! Okay, yeah. So the intensity, so we multiply by intensity. So it's really range. There's a better way to do this, but we're not going to worry about it right now. So we have 0 range, but nothing should be happening right now. So then we increase range by 10 and get rid of this test. Dude, writing tools is such a pain because sometimes it's just not doing like this. This looks totally different at runtime. So I guess I can't trust the updating on the tool. I can amp the...
There you go.
Thanks, sweetie.
You're welcome.
Okay, so our math is wrong on the... All right, we're getting there. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and raid out. Much love to everybody out there. Thanks for hanging out. Only 3 of us here. Wow. What day is it? Wednesday. What a ludicrous display. All right, let's raid out. We're gonna raid IRAD. Since he helped us this morning with our silly problem, appreciate everybody. Enjoy your day. I think today is, what is it? Wednesday. Yes. Enjoy your Wednesday, everybody. Much love to you out there, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, can you explain what you're doing to make the shake effect? Oh, really quick. Yeah, I can explain that. You know what? I'm gonna finish the raid out to Twitch, and then I'll tell you what's going on here. So give me a second.
Something else. Now there could be errors.
Okay, give me a second here.
When I click.
So all I'm trying to do here is set up a system so that I can adjust some parameters, or I can give some parameters to the game and be like, hey, this really crazy thing is happening right now. We score some sort of like event by some amount, and then we change the intensity of the shake that we have, and then we lerp the value between the one to the other. But we're having some problems right now with the lerping. I'm not doing it quite right. But we have our shake range, which is basically an XY value of how far something is going to move. And then we're supposed to be coming from a starting value, but you can kind of see it's sort of traveling around the board. So that's not right either. So we're going to look into that, see if we can get it figured out. So that's what's going on. But I actually have to go. Hopefully I'll see you around. But have a good one.
And yeah, that makes sense then. And we don't need to return because we're going to using any else statement. About the position, we're not testing it anymore. Yeah, we're just adding it randomly, so that's fine. Sorry for my measly rate. Wait, what? No watch. Poor turnout today. There is a lot of people streaming. We don't care. We don't care. Look how many people are streaming. Look how many people are streaming, and I follow all of them. So many. We need to change. We need to cover the gaps. You know, at some point. Well, how was the rest of the stream? Did you manage to get